Hey everyone! We're gonna do something a little bit different with this edition of Games You Might Not Have Tried. All of us here at EC love game jams, but the tragic thing about them is that so many people put so much hard work into creating interesting games, and then very few of them get the attention they deserve. So we figured this whole show was created to enable game creation. So let's do something about that. Thus, for the last 6 months, we've been running game jams, figuring out how to organize them and make them engaging. And now, we're ready to bring you some of the weirdest, most interesting, most eclectic entries from our December jam. The theme was present. So some of these games are about being present, some of these games are about this moment right now, and some of them are about my personal favorite, actual presence. So, let's dive in. Oh, and one last bit before we do this thing. While the games on this list aren't truly finished, you can play all of them for free by visiting the links in the description. And if you find something you really connect with, maybe throw the creators a few dollars to say thanks. And with that, let's begin our first Games You Can't Possibly Have Tried Yet. Anybody home? Let's start with one of our weirdest entries. This game is about being present in a conversation at a party while dealing with anxiety. But the weird part is, you have to use your mouse to keep eye contact with the person you're talking to, while acquiring dialogue options through playing a bear jumping minigame that occupies the top left of your screen, and select what you're going to say through a combination of clicks and the mouse wheel. The best part, though, if you can manage all this multitasking and actually focus on the conversation, this stranger at the party whom you're trying to seem normal to, probably not worth all the effort your character's putting forth. INNST. So if I said Superhot meets Downwell, would I have your attention? If so, this game is for you. It's about the imperative present, about acting in that one critical moment when it comes. The gameplay is simple. You're dropped onto a screen with a group of enemies. Everything switches to bullet time, and you have just a moment to choose where you're going to shoot, try to deflect their bullets, and take out as many of them as you can. With a little more content, I could see this being something I totally get sucked into. Last Minute Delivery. Now this is a game about presence. Literal presence. It's a micro game about delivering them. What's interesting about it, though, is its use of DDR-like mechanics to make those deliveries. Now, I've seen the use of DDR-esque mechanics in QuickTime events and minigames before, but rarely have I seen it as the main mechanic of a game outside of rhythm games. And I can envision an RPG or even an action game that, like Last Minute Delivery, gets rid of the rhythm aspect of DDR entirely, but still makes use of the sequential button pressing to create hectic, tense core gameplay. I mean, throw in some power-ups, and it can represent anything from disarming a bomb to hacking a supercomputer. Omnipresent. A beautiful Game Boy aesthetic and an excellent soundtrack meet in this clever puzzle game about coordinating multiple characters at the same time. But it's really about a relationship, or rather, our relationships with other people. It's an abstract idea explored entirely through the stage names and the level design. In the Argue stage, you'll have to drive 2 characters apart. In the stage named Third Wheel, you'll have to make sure that 3 characters are evenly spaced. And while the meaning of each level isn't always that clear, if you're interested in how you can make puzzle design evoke a feeling, it's absolutely worth checking out. Retroactive. Okay, real simple pitch for you here. Want to see a neon rail shooter made in 3 days? Here is your chance. Grow. The visual antithesis of Retroactive, Grow is a minute and a half of moving to the right. On the surface, it's a game about finding a home for a sapling, but underneath, it's a game about centering yourself and being present with yourself. You'll literally do nothing in this game except hold the arrow key down. But sometimes, games aren't about what you're doing on the screen. They're about remembering that you're the person on the other side of it. White Elephant. Let's round this out with one more game about presence. It's not groundbreaking, but it is very, very cute. Ever have a present that you wanted so badly, but the packaging is impossible to remove? I'm looking at you, all you electronics wrapped in that space devil's plastic, stabbing my hands while I try to open you. I digress. That is the feeling that White Elephant inspires. It's almost an escape the room type game, sans inventory. It'll take you 10 minutes to play through once, and then you're done. But it's a great example of what can be built in a weekend, even if you don't have a ton of experience making games. So that does it for this inaugural Game Jam episode of Games You Can't Possibly Have Tried Yet. If you're interested in being a part of an EC Game Jam, please join us for the next one on February 28th. Or come hang out with us on Twitch on March 6th as we play through the newest batch of games. And finally, thanks again to all of our EC Game Jam participants and to all of you watching right now. Even if you don't make games, if any of these entries interested you, please go check them out. It would mean a ton to all of the creators and all of us at Extra Credits if you told your friends, showed your loved ones, and helped spread the word. Because even if you don't make games yourself, you can still be a big part of helping someone else get to. See you next time, everyone.